Cool. All right, so I am so excited to be with you here today and share what I know from over a decade in the publishing industry. It's going to be a fun conversation, and I am excited to have it with you here today. I trust you'll notice the value of applying these ideas today, so make sure you have a pen and pad ready so you don't miss a thing. So, you're here today to find out what the secret only successful authors know, which tells me that you want to write a novel. Or maybe you've tried in the past. Maybe you already have written a bit, but your books aren't selling. I get it, I've been there. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to stop overthinking and start writing with a simple, proven framework that gives you the clarity and confidence to finally begin your novel and actually finish it. I've been where you are. I started this writing journey because I had stories to tell, and I figured out how to tell them. It took me years to figure out what I was doing and find the solutions. I spent a ton of time and money attending workshops, reading craft books, and getting one-on-one mentoring. So why should you trust me? Well, I have written and independently published and marketed 9 of my own best-selling novels. I have helped hundreds of people write best-selling novels. I am the founder of Serenade Publishing and read, edit, and publish many manuscripts, and I do this daily. I'm here now with a wealth of information, and I want to help you get the head start that I didn't and learn from my mistakes so you don't have to waste any more of your valuable time figuring things out as you go. You're here today because you want to be more creative. You want to learn how to start writing a book, and you've got an idea for a story that you want to write. You're going to get a lot of value today if you fit any of these criteria. Remember, you have just one shot to make a memorable first impression. The goal of our time together is to help you finally get unstuck and start writing a novel that feels meaningful, a story you're proud of, and that readers actually want to buy. But since we only have a short time together, I want to make the most of it. And at the end of this presentation, I'll share how you can keep the momentum going and get deeper support if you're ready. My ask is simple. Take action on the ideas that speak to you. Writing a novel starts with a single brave step. So who here would consider themselves someone who's ready to take that step? If that's you, type ready in the chat and let me know. Excellent. Excellent. Dale can't hear me. Sorry, I don't know. Everyone else can hear me, yeah? Yep. All right. We got some people. James is ready. Awesome. Amazing. All right, so it's time to turn off all distractions. I want to make this worth your time, so stay focused and with me throughout our time together. At the end, I'll do some Q&A, so if you have any questions, I'll answer them then. Awesome, Tina. All right, the challenges you're probably experiencing right now. You're struggling with feeling overwhelmed, like not knowing where to start or how to pull your idea together in a clear, finished novel. You're having difficulty finishing your novel. Maybe you start strong but get stuck halfway. You lose confidence or never feel like it's good enough. Maybe you're feeling uncertain whether your story is working, wondering if it's interesting, if readers will care, or if it's falling flat. You're quietly doubting whether you can really write a good novel, worried that maybe you're not talented enough, or that you'll waste time, money, and energy on something that no one will like, no one will read, and that might never go anywhere. The desires you probably have, you want to finally finish a novel you're proud of, something real, something you can hold in your hands and confidently share with others. If you want to create a story that feels strong and meaningful and polished, where everything fits, flows, and keeps readers engaged, You want to feel confident and excited about your writing again, to stop second guessing, to know you're on the right track, and to believe that pursuing your creative dreams is worth it. Who here resonates with that? Pop it in the chat. I want to hear you say yes. Yes, Donna. Awesome. Yes, James. Yes. Yes. Awesome. Amazing. Amazing, Lou. Wonderful. All right. I remember it was about 10 years ago. It was this hot, sticky, humid day in North Queensland. And I was sitting by a pool watching my four kids splashing around together. They were having so much fun, laughing and playing together. Now, I'd been fortunate enough to be able to stay home with them, but now they were getting older and I wanted to be able to do something fun, something I loved, in order to help support them. I'd always wanted to be a writer since I read my first romance novel at age 14, and I had kept putting it off because it was too hard, too overwhelming, and way too confusing. I didn't want to just write a book that gathered dust. I wanted to be an author and do this for a living and make my family proud of me. But I didn't know how to start. But I made a decision that day as I watched my kids play in the pool. I decided that now was my time and I wasn't going to put it off anymore. I was a writer and it was time to go all in on this dream. That's when I decided I was going to do whatever it took to make it. So I went to writing workshops, festivals, did courses, and read book after book. It took 2 long years, but I finally finished my novel and published it. It sold really well right from the beginning and became a bestseller. I'll never forget the moment it hit me. I was sitting at my desk looking at my book sales and seeing it climb the charts, and there it was, a #1 bestseller badge next to my name. I was honestly in shock. I kept refreshing the page thinking, is this real? And as the reviews started pouring in, I noticed a pattern. People weren't just saying it was well written or had a good plot. They were saying things like, I couldn't put it down. I felt like these characters were real people. And I laughed, I cried. It stayed with me long after I finished. And in that moment, it clicked. The reason my book became a bestseller wasn't because it was the most perfectly written or the most original idea out there. It was because it was emotionally satisfying. That was my big aha moment. The secret to writing a bestseller and the most effective way to make a living as a writer is to write books that are emotionally satisfying to the reader. And what I mean by emotionally satisfying is this. It's when a book makes a reader feel something real. It pulls them into the characters' struggles and triumphs. It lets them experience tension, hope, heartbreak, joy, and leaves them feeling fulfilled when they reach the end. It's a story that sticks with them long after they've closed the book. And here's the thing, this isn't just a nice to have or something that only works for romance or high drama novels. This works in every genre of fiction: thrillers, sci-fi, fantasy, historical, whatever you love to write. Because readers pick up fiction not just for the plot, but for the emotional experience. And when you can deliver that, you don't just sell a book, you create fans. You build an audience and you open the door to actually making a living from your writing. That's why this is so important to understand right now. When you focus on crafting stories readers truly connect with, you'll stop second guessing yourself, stop wasting time chasing trends, and finally start building the writing career you've been dreaming about. One book, one reader, one real emotional connection at a time. Once I realized that, I used it to write and publish my own 9 best-selling novels, and help hundreds of other authors do the same, including those published with Serenade Publishing. Maybe you're here because you've always wanted to write a book and you're curious to learn more about writing. Maybe you've seen other people write and have success, and you're like, wait a minute, maybe I can do that. Or you're motivated to make a shift, to try something different and explore your creativity. So many people have the desire to write a book, whether that is fiction, memoir, children's books, nonfiction. So many people say they want to write a book, but you really want to do it. Or you're frustrated that things haven't been working out. You haven't been able to finish a story, or your books haven't been selling, and you're ready to try something different. You're not giving up, and maybe that's why you are showing up here today, because you are ready to learn a new model in order to start and finish writing novels that people buy and make you money. So tell me in the comments, which one are you? Are you one, curious to see if you can write? Two, motivated to try something different? Three, you're frustrated but determined. And if it's all three, you can tell me that too. So jump into the chat and tell me which one speaks to you most. Donna, 3. James, 2 and 3. That's right. Awesome. That is amazing. 3. Yeah. Cheska. Awesome. Amazing. So whatever your reason for being here, I want you to know that I am here for you. You are in the right place and I fully support you. So remember, my aha moment was realizing the secret to writing a bestseller and the most effective way to make a living as a writer is to write books that are emotionally satisfying to the reader. So let's roll up our sleeves and go even deeper into the content now. I want you to imagine a story you read, or maybe a movie you've watched, that you couldn't stop thinking about afterwards. One that made you laugh, cry, feel inspired, or maybe even change the way you saw the world. That's what we call an emotionally satisfying story. And the big epiphany I had in my own writing journey was this: it's not enough to just have a good plot or interesting characters or pretty sentences. The stories that stick with us get three things right, and they bring them together in the same space. And those three things are plot. Plot is what happens in your story, the events, the conflicts, the twists and turns. It's the part that answers the question, what's this book about? For example, in The Hunger Games, it's about a girl named Katniss who volunteers for a deadly survival competition. In Harry Potter, it's about a boy who discovers he's a wizard and faces a dark enemy. And even in quiet, character-driven novels, there's still a plot. Like in The Fault in Our Stars, it's about two teenagers with cancer who fall in love. Plot gives your story momentum. It keeps readers turning pages. But here's the thing. A plot without characters we care about is just a list of things that happen. And if it doesn't emotionally matter to your reader, they'll put the book down. The second thing is characters. Characters are the heart of your story. They're the people readers root for, relate to, or even love to hate. Think about your favorite stories. You probably don't remember every plot detail, but you remember the characters. Why? Because you felt something for them. Let's take the Hunger Games again. If Katniss was selfish, cold, and didn't care about anyone else, would we care what happened to her? No way. We care because she loves her sister, she's brave, and she makes sacrifices. Or take Harry Potter. If he was arrogant and cruel, we wouldn't want to follow him through 7 books. It's his kindness, loyalty, and flaws that make him relatable. Characters give emotional weight to the events of the story. If you nail the characters, Readers will follow them anywhere, even into the wildest plots. But here's the catch. A good plot and great characters still need one more thing. Otherwise, the story might feel good, but it won't feel different. That missing ingredient is your unique writing style, also known as your voice. And this is where the magic lives as a writer. Your style is the way you tell a story. It's your tone, your choice of words, your perspective. Even if 100 writers wrote a story about a girl in a survival competition, no two stories would sound the same. Your writing style is what makes your story yours. For example, J.K. Rowling's style is filled with whimsy, humor, and warmth, even in dark moments. Suzanne Collins's style in The Hunger Games is tense, raw, and gritty. Imagine if those authors switched books, the entire field would change, and your writing style isn't something you have to find. It comes through when you allow yourself to write like you, not how you think you're supposed to sound. Your unique perspective, your life experiences, and your emotions shape your storytelling in a way no one can copy. Now, here's the beautiful part. When these three things overlap, that's where emotionally satisfying stories are born. Plot gives the story structure and direction, characters give it heart and emotional connection, but your writing style gives it authenticity and uniqueness. If one of those is missing, like if you have a great plot and characters but no unique style, it might feel generic. If you have plot and style but flat characters, readers won't care what happens. And if you have characters and style but no plot, the story might wander and lose momentum. But when all three work together, that's the sweet spot. That's when your readers get to the end of your book and say, wow, that story made me feel something. I remember this. And that's what makes a book emotionally satisfying. Let's quickly run through a couple of examples. The Hunger Games, plot, deadly competition, characters, Katniss, Peter, and Rue, people we care about. Style, tense, emotional, urgent. The Fault in Our Stars, the plot, teens dealing with love and illness. Characters, Hazel and Gus, funny, smart, flawed. Style, witty, thoughtful, bittersweet. See how when those three things work together, the story moves us? Now let's go deeper. Plot. What happens in your story? All right, let's start with the first ingredient, which was plot. Now, what exactly is plot? Put simply, plot is what happens in your story. It's the sequence of events, the situations your characters face, and how those situations build, escalate, and resolve. Plot is important because it gives your story momentum. It answers these questions for the reader. What is this story about? Where is this going? And why should I keep reading? So think of it like a skeleton of your story. It holds everything up. Here's some examples of classic plots. You've got The Quest. A character goes on a journey to find something or save someone. So, for example, in The Lord of the Rings, Frodo's mission to destroy the ring. The underdog story. A character who's overlooked or underestimated rises to the challenge. Example, Rocky. The love story. Two people fall in love, but obstacles stand in their way. Think Pride and Prejudice, The Fault in Our Stars. The survival story. A character fights to survive against overwhelming odds. The Hunger Games or Castaway. The coming of age story. A young character faces life-changing challenges and grows up. For example, Harry Potter. Your story might combine more than one of these, and that's okay too. Now, here's where a lot of writers get stuck. They think plot is just stuff happening, like this happened, then this happened, then this happened. But a good plot is about cause and effect. One thing leads to the next. One decision causes new problems. One event changes everything. And most importantly, it gets harder as it goes. If your character faces the same level of difficulty the whole time, the story gets boring. Good plots escalate. The stakes rise. The problems get worse. The choices get harder. Now, you've probably heard of something called a story arc. That's just a fancy way of saying that plot usually follows a shape. Here's a simple version. The beginning. Set up your world, your characters, and the problem. The middle. Things get worse, problems escalate, twists happen. And in the end, the biggest challenge is faced and things are resolved. Think about your favorite book or movie again. You'll probably see this pattern. In The Hunger Games, the beginning, Katniss volunteers to save her sister. The middle, she fights to survive, makes alliances, and faces betrayal. In the end, she and Peter find a way to win together. In Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the beginning, Harry discovers he's a wizard. The middle, he makes friends and uncovers a mystery and faces obstacles. In the end, he confronts Voldemort and saves the day. Plot takes us on a journey, and every step along the journey should matter. But here's something really important. Plot alone isn't enough. You could have the most thrilling events in the world, epic battles, shocking twists, daring rescues. But if the reader doesn't care about what's happening, none of it matters. That's why it connects with characters and your unique writing style. Plot gives the structure, but it's the characters and how you tell it that make readers feel something about those events. A car chase is exciting, but it's way more meaningful if the person in the car is someone you love, fighting to get back to their child. That's what makes a plot emotionally satisfying, not just entertaining. So remember, plot is what happens in your story. It has a clear beginning, middle, and end. Events escalate and cause new problems. It follows a logical cause and effect, and it should be emotionally meaningful because of who it's happening to. Next is characters. And this is where so many writers either shine or struggle. Characters are the emotional core of your story. You could have the most exciting plot in the world, but if readers don't care about who it's happening to, it won't matter. Think about your favorite books or movies. Chances are you remember the people more than the plot details. So what makes a great character? Great characters aren't just good or bad, strong or weak. They feel real. They have strengths, flaws, fears, hopes, and complicated emotions just like us. Katniss Everdeen is brave, but also stubborn, guarded, and struggles to trust people. Harry Potter is loyal, courageous, but also reckless, angry, and sometimes naive. Hazel Grace Lancaster in The Fault in Our Stars, she's witty, smart, but scared, cynical, and vulnerable. These characters aren't perfect, and that's what makes us root for them. Characters have wants, fears, and flaws. Here's a simple way to think about creating a great character. First up, what do they want? Every character should want something big or small. It could be survival, love, revenge, belonging, freedom, or even just a nap. What are they afraid of? This could be physical danger, failure, rejection, loneliness, or losing someone. What flaw holds them back? Maybe they're too stubborn, too proud, too impulsive, too afraid. These things drive their decisions in the story, and those decisions shape your plot. Here's an important tip. Your characters don't have to be likable, but they do have to be interesting. Readers don't necessarily love perfect people. They connect with characters they can understand. In Gone Girl, neither Nick or Amy are very likable, but they're fascinating. In Breaking Bad, Walter White turns into a villain, but his motivations and struggles make us understand how he got there. So don't be afraid to give your characters flaws and bad decisions. It makes them feel real. Your main characters must undergo a significant transformation during the course of the novel. That's called a character arc. Katniss starts out only caring about her sister, but grows into a reluctant leader. Elizabeth Bennet in Pride and Prejudice lets go of her assumptions and pride. Frodo in Lord of the Rings moves from innocence to wisdom and heartbreak. Readers love to go on that emotional journey. Key takeaways. Characters make readers care about your story. They should have wants, fears, and flaws. They need to feel real and relatable, not perfect. And most characters grow or change throughout the story. Now, let's talk about your unique writing style, which can also be called your writing voice. And this is one of my favorite parts because this is what makes you different from every other writer. So, what is your writing style? Your writing style is how you sound on the page. It's your tone, your word choices, your sense of humor, your worldview, your emotional truth. Even if 100 writers wrote the same scene, none would tell it in the same way because we each bring different life experiences, values, and emotions to the page. So, why does voice matter? Readers fall in love with your writing because of how it makes them feel. Your style creates a mood, a rhythm, a sense of connection. Think about J.K. Rowling's warm, witty, whimsical voice, or Suzanne Collins's tense, gritty, direct storytelling, or John Green's thoughtful, funny, slightly cynical tone. Even if these authors told the same story, the experience would be totally different. So, how do you find your style? Good news, you don't have to find it. You already have it. But most writers cover it up because we think we have to sound a certain way. Here's how to uncover it. Write like you talk, at least in your first drafts. Be honest about how your characters feel in the moment. Don't try to sound literary, sound real. Pay attention to the kinds of stories and emotions that naturally matter to you. Are you funny, thoughtful, intense, dry, romantic? Lean into that. The more you write, the more your style sharpens. Now let's take a simple line and imagine it written by different authors. The sun was setting. In a poetic, dreamy voice, might sound like the sky blushed, soft pink melting into smoky violet. Or in a tense, dystopian voice, the last light vanished, leaving only shadows and cold. Or maybe a funny, sarcastic voice. The sun clocked out early, like it couldn't be bothered. Same moment, totally different experience based on style. So, key takeaways. Your style is what makes your story yours. It's how you make readers feel something. It comes from your unique way of seeing the world. And you already have it, you just need to let it show. So, to wrap up, plot is what happens. Characters are who it happens to and who we care about. Your voice is how you tell it. And when those three things work together, that's when you create an emotionally unforgettable story. So I'd love to hear from you now. What's been most valuable from this presentation so far? Tell me in the chat. Tips about finding the writing style, Francesca. Awesome. Amazing. What's been most helpful? Cynthia, how it's all put together to make a memorable story. That's it. Amazing. Fantastic. Writing style. Shara, I'll send out the replay tomorrow morning. Emotionally satisfying. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Tina. Simplified the wage aspect was necessary and complements the whole. That's right. Really. Oh, lovely. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Awesome. Fantastic. All right. This is Victoria Rockus. Victoria writes fantasy romance and is a wonderful example of an author who writes emotionally satisfying novels. So, how does she do this? She has well-crafted plots with lots of excitement. She has realistic, quirky characters, including a half-human, half-tooth fairy. She has an authentic and humorous writing style. Like, these books made me laugh so hard, but they can also get really dark. And it's a best-selling series. So she's currently got 5 books out, and it's going to be a 7-book series. People love these books and are rooting for the characters. If she can do it, so can I. I want you to say it with me and believe in yourself. If she can do it, so can I. So write that in the comments. So can I. I can do it. If she can do it, so can I. So can I. That's right. There we go. Yes. Yes, James. Yes, Karen. Awesome. Amazing. Okay, let's take a deep breath together and zoom out for a second. So we've covered a lot. Let's bring it all together. The 3 essentials that make a story emotionally satisfying. Here's what I want you to remember most. If you want to write a novel readers fall in love with, one they can't stop thinking about, one that stays with them after they turn the last page. It's not about fancy language or having the most shocking twist. It's about creating a story that's emotionally satisfying. And to do that, you need 3 essential ingredients: plot, what happens, the events, the conflicts, and choices that move the story forward and keep readers engaged. 2, characters, who it happens to, the people your readers connect with, root for, fear for, or even love to hate. And your unique writing style, how you tell it, the personality, emotion, and honesty you bring to the page that makes your story feel real, authentic, and meaningful. And here's something really important. This works in every genre. Whether you're writing fantasy about dragons and kingdoms, thrillers with high stakes chases and dark secrets, science fiction about other worlds and distant futures, historical fiction grounded in real events, or even literary fiction about ordinary people's inner lives. Every unforgettable, best-selling, or beloved novel, no matter the genre, works because it's emotionally satisfying. That doesn't mean it has to be romantic. It means it makes the readers feel something deeply: hope, fear, longing, joy, heartbreak, relief, triumph. Plot makes us turn the pages, characters make us care, and style makes us feel. And when you master these 3, that's when your story lingers in the reader's heart. I know many of you are watching today are feeling what I used to feel. You're unsure where to start, overwhelmed by advice that seems complicated or contradictory. You're wondering if your story is good enough, or stuck in the middle of a draft that just isn't working. And here's what I want you to hear from me today. You don't have to figure this out alone. There's a clear, supportive, step-by-step way to take your idea from messy and overwhelming to a finished, polished novel that you're proud of, one that's built on a strong plot, unforgettable characters, and your own unique, powerful voice. Don't make the mistake in thinking now you have everything you need to get started and anything else you don't know how to do, you can find on YouTube. This is a big mistake because, my friend, you don't. If you go hunting over the internet, you don't know if the teachers have actually gotten the results they claim, can prove their techniques work. And trust me, there are a lot of scammers out there who are preying on creatives and promising to write novels for you. Now, I know this might seem a little cheesy, but I want you to close your eyes. There's nothing you need to see on the screen right now. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine just 3 days from now. You've finished outlining your novel and you're feeling really good and excited about your story. And you're excited to get into it. You're feeling hopeful and inspired. Now I want you to imagine just 3 months from now, and you are typing the end on your first draft of a manuscript, and you're feeling proud and happy with yourself that you did this thing that so many people dream about but never do. You've finally proved to yourself that you can write, that you can call yourself a writer. You begin to feel that spark of confidence. That's a feeling you haven't felt in a long time. As you work on editing your novel, you think to yourself, this just might be the exact direction I was meant to go all along. Now, I want you to imagine 12 months from now, and you are writing more books that you love to write, and your devoted fans are devouring your words and begging for more. And you're feeling so proud and happy and earning good money doing what you love. Something feels different as you imagine this. I want you to notice how you feel. I want you to notice how it feels to show up for yourself, how it feels to have an audience that can't wait to hear from you. This is really happening. You may think to yourself, I haven't been this excited in a long time. You are on the field and in the game. You finally created the money, the freedom, and the impact you've always wanted. In that moment, you ask yourself, how did I get here? How did this happen? And then you realize a year ago, you made the decision to go all in. A year ago, you bet on yourself. You did not listen to your fear. You listened to that faint voice that said, just give it a try. You didn't listen to your old story. You bet on yourself and created a new story, one where you could not lose. The only question now, are you committed to becoming this new version of yourself, the decision maker, someone who does not sit on the sidelines anymore? Because if you are, the only thing that's missing now is the how, the strategies, the roadmap to get there. All you need now are the steps to show you how to get started so that you can create the life and the books that you've always wanted this whole time. All you have to do now is bet on yourself. Now, open your eyes. If you are committed to creating this future right now, then I'd love to share your next steps. Success is more about your level of attitude than it is ever about your level of aptitude. Natural talent doesn't matter. It's the time and effort you put in, the willingness to practice and become better. When you focus on courage over confidence, and you were given a clear path from start to finish to create your fictional novel, you can create a steady revenue and a community of adoring fans who will buy and recommend all the books you ever write. Today, I've covered how to make your novels emotionally satisfying, but this really is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to writing a novel that stands out from the crowd and gets the attention it truly deserves. If you are committed to being that person, the only thing stopping you is the how to get there. And the good news is, you don't have to do the guesswork anymore. I want to share with you how you can reach your goals easier and faster than you thought. So, if you have learned something today and want to continue this journey with me, then I have a question for you. Would you like me to virtually hold your hand through the process of creating and writing a novel? But before I share this, I need to be upfront. This is not for everyone. This is not for you if you aren't ready to unleash your creativity and see where it takes you. If you're not ready to put yourself out there, or if you're happy to just stay comfortable in your current situation and always wonder, what if? This is for you if you are coachable, willing to try new things and implement them. You're committed to your next level and using the creativity and imagination that you were born to share with the world. If you're ready to become the author you've always wanted to be, I'm inviting you to join me in Fiction Writing Academy for the proven step-by-step method for nailing the book writing process. Fiction Writing Academy is a step-by-step program that teaches you everything you need to know to write fabulous fiction that sells. By the end of this program, you'll know how to develop your story so that everything comes together to create the ultimate reader-pleasing ending. You'll know how to avoid mistakes other writers make that kill their stories and sabotage their earning potential. And you'll have a finished draft that you can be proud of. I'm not exactly sure why you showed up today, but I bet I can guess. Earlier we talked about that maybe you're here because you've always wanted to write a book and you're curious to learn more about writing. Maybe give it a try. Or you're motivated to start this journey and explore your creativity. So many people have the desire to write a book, whether that is fiction, memoir, children's books, non-fiction. So many people say they want to write a book, but you really want to do it. Or you're frustrated that things haven't been working out, or you haven't been able to finish a story, or your books haven't been selling, and you're ready to try something different. You are not giving up. And maybe that's why you are showing up here today, because you are ready to learn a new model in order to start and finish writing novels that people buy and make you money. Again, no matter why you are here, I fully support you. And I know that Fiction Writing Academy can absolutely guide you each step of the way. It took me years to figure out the problems and find these solutions. I spent a ton of time doing workshops, reading craft books, and getting one-on-one mentoring. Trust me, learn from my mistakes so you don't have to waste any more of your valuable time. I too started from scratch. I don't have exclusive access to experts, resources, or technology that you don't have access to. I just have a proven roadmap that I follow. And I want you to hear this. If I can do it, so can you. I don't want you to waste time trying to figure out how to write a novel like I did. So if you are ready to skip the overwhelm of all the information out there about how to write novels that sell, if you're ready to skip the confusion of knowing who to trust and who to listen to, if you want to skip the missteps and avoid the false information, then Fiction Writing Academy is here to help you. Inside Fiction Writing Academy, we cover everything you need to know. And first off, I'm going to let you in on some insider knowledge that will help you to work out your novel's genre and how best to position it to market. My students have found this first module essential for their planning and marketing. The other modules include characters, plotting, dialogue and body language, point of view, setting and world building, goal, motivation, and conflict, narrative and your unique writing style, finishing, and editing. Now, you might be able to learn all of this at college or university. That would take you a minimum of 4 years and cost a fortune. In Fiction Writing Academy, I've condensed it down to 10 modules of fundamental content with a value of over $3,000. I just told you about the core program, but I have extra bonuses for you today. First one is access to the students only community group. Our community is full of helpful, motivated, and supportive members who are writing books just like you. You can pop into the group to ask questions, discuss what you're learning, and get help from myself and the other students as you make your way through the course. You also get a DIY editing checklist valued at $97. Once you have finished your draft, you can go through this checklist and make sure you have nailed your novel. This could save you big time before paying an editor, sending it to a publisher, or uploading it to Amazon. When you enroll today, you get lifetime access to Fiction Writing Academy and all future updates, plus those bonuses, the student community group, and the DIY editing checklist. Again, that's a total value of well over $3,000. I'm not going to ask you to pay this total amount, but imagine for a moment that you did pay it, and through implementing the system, you finished writing your novel and it got acquired by a big name publisher. Would it be worth the $3,000 investment then? Now, I know you're just starting out and I know you're on a budget, so I wanted to make this as affordable as possible for you. So, with that, I'm not going to charge you $3,000, but instead, you can get started today for just 97 US dollars, and that currently converts to 149 Australian dollars. To join Fiction Writing Academy and get access to everything I've ever learned in my writing journey only costs $97. This is the complete self-paced course that you can complete in your own time, and you get to keep the program and refer back to it forever. Let me remind you what's inside Fiction Writing Academy. You will learn everything you need to write a best-selling book. You'll have step-by-step guidance on how to plan, outline, and write a high-quality first draft. You'll have 10 modules of material, each based on one of the essential components of a writer's education. You'll have comprehensive video lessons with audio recordings, slides, and transcripts, so you can digest the material in a way that's best for you. Practical worksheets come with each lesson, so you can absorb and understand what you learned. Membership to a private course website so you can access all the materials anytime, anywhere. Plus, it's self-paced with lifetime access. And if you join as a VIP, you get the bonus virtual retreats. So you're going to learn my bestseller secrets, how to easily plot and outline your novel, how to write dialogue and body language, setting and world building, goal, motivation, and conflict, editing, and everything in between. If there is ever a time to enroll and start your writing journey, this is it. This is your time. So click on that link and let's start working together. If all this program did was finally give you the courage to get started with your novel, to get unstuck and into action, wouldn't it be worth it? If all this program did was help you plan your novel from start to finish, wouldn't that be worth it? If all this program did was show you step by step how to successfully finish writing your novel and get it ready to hit publish, wouldn't that be worth it? Well, my friend, this course does all of this and more. If you've been waiting for the right moment to start your novel, this is it. Enrollment for Fiction Writing Academy is open right now. If you've been stuck second guessing or starting and stopping your writing for too long, Don't wait another day to take this seriously. This isn't just another course, it's a supportive, structured experience where I'll personally help you craft a novel that feels emotionally satisfying and true to you. So if you're ready, click that link. Let's write your novel together. serenadepublishing.com/academy. I trust you have found this workshop valuable today. I absolutely love being a writer and getting to share my knowledge with other creatives like yourself. Writing and books changed my life, and I'm so grateful every day that I get to do what I love. I wish the same joy for you, my dear sweet friend, and I would love to help and guide you along your journey to literary success. I hope you will join me inside Fiction Writing Academy because the world really does need your specific story. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep creating. Bye for now.